Destructoid.
And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast. I'm Brett Medlock, host here of Spot Dodge. We stream every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central Time, and we're streaming over on Twitch and, of course, here on YouTube. But if you're new to the show and you want to catch up on the old episodes, you can go check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Today's going to be a pretty fun show. We have some cool things to talk about. I'm once again here with the same crew of people. We're all figuring it out, right? This is harder than people think. A weekly podcast. It sounds easy, but it's actually pretty tough. I'm here today, as always, with Greg Vargas, the writer over at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. How you doing, Greg?
Hey man, I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good. I always mess up saying giraffe whenever I'm in.
Yeah, I was gonna say you always butcher his name. It's like Dynamite Giraffe.
Can I just say, Brent, you are having an excellent hair day today.
No, I'm not. We already established it. Of course you'd bring it up. Along with him is Mary Stowe, social media manager and host here at Destructoid. How are you doing, Mary?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, then we have
pretty good.
Okay. Then we have John Frisha, indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist. How you doing, John?
I'm delighted to be here, Brett.
Can we call you Jonathan?
That's not my name.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, okay.
He doesn't
We've
seem
had
like
this
he'd be okay with
conversation
that. So.
several times. I'm just a J-O-H-N
Oh, get out of
John.
here, Jonathan.
A boring guy. Anyway. And then lastly, we have the king, daddy, Dilf, Brett Larson, gaming enthusiast and host here, like co-host here at Spot Dodge. Brett, how you doing?
I am a little under the weather today, but I'm here. I'm gonna power through.
You're gonna stick it out.
I am.
All right, so we could jump into the news unless you guys want to do what we're playing first, because I did notice that last week we totally skipped that section because the show went so long. So what would you guys rather do?
Whatever. I know John really wanted to talk about finishing up triangle strategy last week. So.
Oh yeah.
Nah, I'm kind of over it. That was a week ago.
Oh yeah.
It's officially left his brain.
Yeah, it's gone, man.
We can start with what we're playing.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and toss it to Mary first. Mary, what have you been up to?
I took a little mini break from Horizon Forbidden West. I'm making good progress again on the story, but Tunic came out and it's an adorable little Zelda-like game and it's so cute. I'm having a lot of fun with it. A little lost, I think, but I'm okay with it because I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, I played the demo back whenever it came out, and I also got lost repeatedly, but I did have a lot of fun with it. But it was super challenging. I'm glad to hear that they added a God mode now. So just in case you get stuck on a boss or something, you can switch on that mode and then just beat them and then put it back to normal. But yeah, it looks really charming. Has there been anything that you've noticed that's like super similar to Zelda aside from like how it looks?
Mainly just how it looks so far, I think. Even like the little, it's kind of, I guess, like your way of like guiding you. It's like an in-game guidebook. The art style of it kind of reminds me of like the old art style from like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. But other than that, I haven't seen any other like, oh my god, this is Zelda similarities yet.
Yeah. And this was sort of coming off of last week. I went hard on Microsoft for not marketing their games. So this is an Xbox exclusive, of course, also on PC. But they announced the day that it came out that it was going to be on Game Pass. Seems like something that should have been known weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were just trashing on them the night before for doing that stuff.
Like they did this indie live stream, but they don't really treat them the same way that like Nintendo treats their indie worlds or like PlayStation does their state of plays. So like they have these shows where they're making announcements and stuff, but no one knows about them. And when you go to the stream, there's like 3,000 people watching total across like 3 channels. I'm like, how do they expect anyone to know about this stuff? And then you drop like a big news thing that like this game is on Game Pass now for those 3,000 people watching. Just this seems like something that should have been in like a blog or something weeks ago, like telling people, hey, this upcoming, ambitious, beautiful Zelda-like is going to be on our service that we're pushing, but I don't know. It just seems a little odd to me.
I felt like
Very
they focused more like when Outriders came out, and I felt like it had like a little bit bigger following that people were like excited to play it. And this one was just like the complete opposite. I feel like it has more substance to it than the Outriders did when it first launched, and like I played it too,
I mean,
just a little bit, but
yeah. And the game is reviewing really great, a lot better than
Mhm.
Outriders
It
did.
is.
So
oh, is it?
yeah. So
Tunic
yeah,
is revealing, yeah, really well. Reviewing really
Nice.
well, yeah. People are comparing it a little bit to Elden Ring in the sense that like there's like the same sense of like mystery in the exploration, and it's like really
Mhm.
inviting because it's not telling you what to do like at all. You just
Yeah, like
yeah,
you just go, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I think I'm like like I said, the little guidebook. It kind of like has these weird bullet points, and I'm like, okay, a dark well. I think I found that, so I'm just kind of like running around there. I'm like, okay, I found my way out of it. Now what do I do?
yeah, yeah. That sounds really fun. Like I
Yeah.
hope it comes to Switch because well, like I can't be bothered to game on a PC, and I'm not gonna plug in my Xbox One for that.
that's just too much work. Just
Yeah, it
grabbing a
really is.
console and plugging it in.
Oh, the energy
Genuinely is.
required.
I have not plugged that thing in like 4 to 5 years, I guess.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Wow.
The
Do
last
you have
Yeah,
a
I'm not,
Series X or S, John?
no, no, I just
No. Okay.
hated my Xbox One. So
You didn't give it a chance. That's the
Now it's
problem.
just out of spite.
Send it to me. It'll get some use over at my house.
I think the last time I ever used it was probably for Cuphead, and then that ended up coming to Switch too, you know? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to be like a timed exclusive because, like, I always thought Death's
hope so.
Door and a couple of other games that came out during that time, The Ascent, I thought they were going to be Xbox exclusives too, and then ended up coming over to PlayStation a few months later. So I imagine
Pretty much
this
all these
will
indies
end up.
go multi-platform.
Yeah, it seems like they
Yeah.
always do. So
What's funny
Yeah,
is
we'll
this
see.
feels more like a PlayStation, like it'd be at home on the PlayStation than it does on the Xbox.
Seems like more at Switch, to be honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a
Zelda with a
perfect game on the
box.
Switch.
yeah.
I was gonna. Speaking of Death's Door, for everyone that's played it, does it kind of has like the angle of Death's Door, like
Mhm.
the camera angle? Does the combat kind of like Death's Door? Like that?
It feels very
A
Death's
little
Door to
bit?
me as well,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that game. Like I binged through Death's Door like hardcore. I could not get
I
enough
liked it a
of
lot
it.
too.
I loved Death's Door. That was like one of the best games of last year. And
Mhm.
It got
I-
super hard on a couple parts though.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
The combat would like just ratchet up real bad.
I heard Tunic was a lot harder too, so that's
Oh
kind
man.
of scary. But my experience with Tunic from the demo, it wasn't as mechanically strong as Death's Door in terms of the combat, but it's still pretty challenging, pretty fun. But I also was super early in the demo, so like I didn't have any of the special abilities and stuff that you unlock.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm for sure gonna play it.
Greg, what
Yeah.
have you been playing lately?
I have also been playing Tunic.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I like first thought I was like, wait, did I put this in English? And I had to go back into the like
Yeah.
the settings, and I was like, oh, this is just
Playing
like
the
the
Korean
games.
version.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like a made up language, isn't it?
yeah, the developer created an actual real made up language that makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
I just
a
thought
lot
it
of
was really
players
neat.
are trying to figure out what everything says.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like Mary was saying, like she felt a little lost, and like I felt that way too, but it's never like to the point where I'm turned off by it, that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm stuck, I'm not going to come back to this game. But I started to play. I think I played about maybe an hour, and then I set it down, and that's what I love about it being on Game Pass. I first started playing on my PC, installed on my Xbox, and then it's like the perfect game to play from the couch. And so
That's
like
what I
I,
was
I
doing.
yeah, and I just like it either a beat 'em up like I think River City Girls was like the last one that I like kicked back on the couch and was able to play like that. But I'm enjoying it so far. I feel like I'm gonna power through and finish this one probably sooner than a lot of the games on my backlog.
I heard it's only
Um,
about like 8 to 10 hours. That's really good to
Yeah.
hear.
Oh, really?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's cool.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
types of games that honestly, they feel more satisfying to play because it's just like a nice, tight, sweet experience. Whereas with
Yeah.
a game like Horizon, I feel like I've been
Nice,
playing it for
tight,
3
sweet.
years.
Yeah.
Especially since everybody is kind of getting tiresome of Forbidden West. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Hey, you know what?
Everyone's
Speak for
getting
yourself,
tired of
Greg.
Forbidden West.
Speak for yourself and all you other assholes.
you're not even a true Nintendo fan.
You know what? I am.
Prove me wrong. Oh, okay.
Now this is what always happens. There's always an inside joke that no one understands. And the people listening are gonna be like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?"
It worked better the first time. I'm sorry.
Definitely.
But I also checked out also on Game Pass, Shredders.
Yes, same.
Yeah, it was. I could see where I could start liking it. I haven't really done much. I did a couple. I do like the mechanics of how you can like, it feels very natural to like get on a rail and like, or jib a rail or board slide it, and like just the maneuverability of the sticks and your character, I feel like does come off very well. And for an indie game to have like the little segments in between where they're interacting the characters and stuff,
I skipped
I
all
thought
those.
was really cool. That's like the one time that I actually let dialogue play and stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the volume on, and I was just like, I can't hear this. I'm just gonna skip it.
But no, I thought that was really cool. I feel like it could have used a little bit more polish visually, and sometimes feels a little empty. But
And this is a series exclusive. Like, this is not on Xbox One, which is surprising.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
It very well could have been from just visually.
From the visuals, I don't see why it wouldn't be able to run on Xbox One.
But I don't know. I like indie sports games like this. Like, do you guys remember Backbreaker, the football game?
No.
Mm.
Yeah, it was not like a legitimate Blitz clone, and it was only really mini games and stuff. But I thought that was another one that executed well. Just something other than the main AAA games that like Madden or 2K. I thought it was a good alternative, and I feel like Shredders is kind of in that realm too. But outside of that, just on my usual Apex Legends, Rocket League grind. I am growing a little tiresome of Apex right now, but I think that's just. But I think it's just mostly the people that I'm playing with. I'm still trying to.
They're holding
They're not
you
watching
back.
the show.
Well, no. Well, I haven't been playing. I played
Suck.
with a couple people here and there that I've met from TikTok that also stream, make content and stuff too, and that like I don't know. It takes a lot of just game sense and skill, and if you don't have that and you're trying to grind up, it becomes it almost starts to work against you that you're not playing with other individuals, because you don't really, you can't perfect your team going into the next match. You can't say like, hey, you did this, next time do this. And I think that's the struggle that I'm having right now. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, I've been taking more breaks from it, but I love playing the game. It keeps me happy, so we'll continue doing that.
Awesome.
There you go.
Now, we haven't asked Brett and John, right? That's who we're still waiting on.
Yeah.
All right, who's cooler? I think I'm gonna have to go to John.
John.
I would agree to that sentiment. I would agree.
Even though he's King Daddy Dilf.
Yeah. Hey, we didn't say he was cool, King Daddy Dill.
The Dilf abides.
Who is that? What was his name? Diesel, when he went to WCW and was just Kevin Nash.
yeah.
What was he? Big Papa
Yeah.
Cool? Or something like that?
Papa
Is that
Cool.
Big Papa Pump or something? No.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
there's
okay,
Papa
yeah.
Pump.
Big Papa Pump was
That was different.
Scott
He was
Steiner,
different.
right?
Yeah.
That was Scott Steiner, I
Um,
think. All right.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've got that worked out, we can
Anyway.
get back to the podcast. All right. So I finished up Triangle Strategy more or less, and I tried to go back to Horizon, and it's just my heart is not in it. Like, I can't do any more huge open worlds. Like,
He abandoned
maybe I'll
it.
come back to it in a year or something.
fully
but yeah,
abandoned
like,
it.
Year?
yeah, like I got to the scene where you meet Carrie Ann Moss for the first time, and then there's like
Literally
immediately a
where I was
boss
like,
fight.
okay, I'm in now. Like I love this now. Is where you
That's when the
stop.
story actually. That's when it
I-
actually picks up, and he's like, "I'm done with it."
Yeah. Like, so you kind of get knocked out after that scene, and then you open to another scene and you're talking to this lady, and I was like, yeah, whatever, and I skipped it. And
What?
then
It's like one of my favorite scenes.
nah,
Oh my
I skipped
God.
her. Nah, she wasn't interesting. And so then I I turned it off, and I don't have plans to come back anytime soon. So
Damn.
now
Ah,
I'm back in
brutal.
flavor country. I'm playing Yakuza 3, and it's
There you
great.
go.
Now,
See,
John, I gotta be honest.
yeah,
I thought maybe I was going crazy because I loved the first Horizon so much, and you
yeah,
just recently played it and loved it so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
And since you're
absolutely.
abandoning it, that just goes to show that like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe this game
No,
just isn't doing it for me. Like maybe it's not as good, which I know is
yeah,
crazy for a lot of people to hear because a lot of people love this game, but it's just not
right.
pulling me in like the first game one bit. I've been playing GTA 5 mostly lately.
There you go.
Well,
The story
Yeah,
let's be
well,
campaign.
honest.
we,
You were playing Crossfire X and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze during
Yeah, I
that.
did. I did play those too. Over Horizon.
GTA just started.
And it's
well, I
great.
mean, we discussed
Disappointed.
on a past podcast episode how like the sense of mystery is definitely lacking in Forbidden West compared to in Zero Dawn. Because Zero Dawn, that was brand new, and you were like, all right, why are these like robot, animal, dinosaur things all over the
For sure,
place? And
yeah.
like that's a really good mystery.
Mhm.
And the first minute of Forbidden West like recaps like everything from that first game, and like there goes that mystery. And like now
Yeah.
I guess there's the mystery of like Carrie Ann Moss, but like I don't care.
Just
So
her, the actress Carrie Ann Moss.
just her
Yeah, see that.
specifically, yeah. She doesn't play a character. She's just Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah,
But
somehow
That
alive.
was gonna be
no,
one of my questions. Was like, is it because of like too much open world, or are you growing tired of
no.
seeing too much Horizon?
So the thing is, I think it's a little of both because like I'm not very drawn in by the mystery this time, but at the same time, I also like I said this once before. Like I literally stare at the map and I get depressed because it's like I don't want to like literally go like 2 miles northwest to see what's in that corner of the map. Like, who cares? Like, I'm supposed to be on a mission to save the world. Why would I be exploring the whole fucking world? Like,
Exactly.
But what
like,
if there's
To be
something
fair, I
really
mean,
good up there, so you have to go
yeah.
and find
What
out?
if there's
Yeah.
a goat with a bell around his neck or something? You got to check it out.
right?
Then it's totally worth
And
it.
and you know, like it's such a funny juxtaposition because I go from that back to Yakuza 3, which is
Right.
basically it's
This is the most
Yakuza 1
random
and
shit.
2 basically again. Like like except now I'm in like this pretty little beach, but eventually it's going to send me back to where all the other games were. And every second of this game I'm like, "Yes, this is great. This is exactly what I want. It's exactly like all the other ones I played." So like there's like definitely a double standard at play here, but I think the difference is like I really enjoy the story in Yakuza. So like
Yeah.
I don't care if everything else stays the same. So, you
I,
know.
I'm having a similar situation because, like I said, I started GTA 5. I've never actually played through the story of GTA 5, which
That's
might be
crazy.
crazy. And
Yeah, it
like
is.
nothing has been spoiled to me at all, so like I'm just enjoying it for the first time ever. And and like while I was playing Horizon, I was like, am I just tired of open worlds? Like, do I hate this formula or something? But then I started GTA 5. It's an open world. It has side quests. It has a main story, and I'm loving it. So it's obviously Horizon Forbidden West that's the problem. It's not the fact that it's an open world game. There's just something about Horizon that's not doing it for me
So
right now. But
I
GTA 5 is.
I'm just like trying
Yeah.
to understand, like trying to put it in a format in my head. Like, maybe it's like, movies, how you can have a long 3-hour movie like the Batman, and you walk out of there and you're like, damn, that was pretty good. And then, but you don't want to, go see another movie that's 3 hours long if it's like a documentary or something. Like you have to be in the mood to digest these different mediums. But I don't know, video games is so much different. Like I'm trying to think like, oh, maybe these are like, all the other games are like, thrillers or action short stories, and then Horizon's just really long and detailed, and it really does nothing.
And the side quest stories have not been good at all, and that's just super disappointing because like games like Dragon Age and The Witcher, like they shine in those areas,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's what I love
especially The
about.
Witcher.
Yeah, and that's what I love about open world games. It's usually the side stuff that turns out to be really good.
Mhm.
But Horizon's like side stories. There was like one interesting one about an old guy who ended up killing himself because he like starved to death or something. That was like the coolest one. I'm sure everyone probably did that one.
I know that one.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
right at
yeah.
the start.
Now, Brett, what have you been up to lately?
You guys are out of your minds. Horizon is so good. What is wrong with you guys? It's so damn good.
Dude, I'm doing. Oh, hang on. One quick rant. I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong in this game, but I am levels above the recommended. I don't know if I'm forgetting to upgrade something or if I'm just totally missing one specific portion of the game. But I die in one hit so easily by medium-sized enemies, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is happening? Like, I'm
Yeah,
on
he
normal
actually
difficulty. I'm like 3 levels above the recommended. I've upgraded my suit, my bow, and everything. My damage is fine. I make good damage, but if I get hit, I'm dead. And it's like playing a freaking one hit game basically, and it's kind of infuriating. So I need to
yeah,
figure that out.
he actually sent me a video, and at first I was like, he's got to be exaggerating, and he sent it in like I didn't see his health before that. Maybe I just wasn't looking, but yeah, like
It's
he
full.
got hit once and, and he's dead. But I don't remember that really ever happening. So I
I was
don't know why that's happening.
Maybe
But
there's some bug or something.
I don't know, man, because that would be frustrating. That would kind of like ruin your experience a little bit.
because
But
I'm
Yeah.
like,
you know what?
I'm jumping around, flying and gliding, shooting, sliding, doing all these awesome things, and then one hit, you're dead, and it's like, oh my god, boner kill. All right, Brett,
To kind
go
of
ahead.
like to kind
Just
of
a
add on
boner
to
kill.
a little bit to
Yes.
what Greg was saying
Happens
with
to
the
Aloy
movie.
all the time.
To kind of add on what Greg was saying about the movies, like I've also found out that, or like found that with certain games, it totally depends on when you're playing it. What like what's going on in your life at that time that you're playing it. Like a perfect example of this is Metro Exodus. I tried playing that game twice, and both times I got like 2 hours in, and I was like, I'm just not feeling it. I don't know what the hype is all about. And then like me and Brett became good friends around that time, and he's like, dude, go back and restart it and play it again. I promise you, just stick with it. And I ended up loving it. It became like I liked it so much I went back and played the first two Metro games all within like a month of each other. That's how much I loved it.
And all the DLC
like
for Exodus.
and all the DLC, like I went nuts on it. That's how much I liked it. And so like I really do think that it depends on
Timing.
like what's going on in your life, timing, all that kind of stuff. I really feel like if you guys went back to it in a few months, maybe once, I don't know, it's the right time or whatever, you will enjoy it.
Yeah, timing can
I
definitely
did
play a factor.
I did just finish Horizon. I'm the only one on the show that has finished it. I do want to know what you guys' thoughts are. I don't think you're going to go back to it anytime soon, John, but I think Brett will probably finish it and probably Mary pretty soon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The ending is apparently pretty divisive, and I'm not sure why. I didn't dislike it, but I've heard from some people they're like, "What the hell was that ending?" So interesting. Maybe maybe in a week or two, you guys will be able to. Well, I guess we can't discuss it because it's total spoilers. But
Yeah, true.
but yeah, so after that, I finished that, and then I went to the Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC, Dawn of Ragnarok. So I've been playing that, and
More
I
open world.
love that game. I love that game exactly. See, but I don't get that open world fatigue. For some reason, I actually enjoy like going from mission to mission in the open worlds. And anyways, the one thing that I noticed going from Horizon to Dawn of Ragnarok was after playing Horizon for 50 hours, the combat in Assassin's Creed was so rough. Like because Horizon, it's so like free and you're jumping and your bow feels so good. Then I went to Dawn of Ragnarok and I'm like, you can't jump, you can't sprint, you just feel like a big clunky like lug walking around. So it's been kind of rough getting into that, but yeah, it's all right. I'm starting to get into it a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to get back to that game, and they did add like a new mode that makes the game easier, but it's not the difficulty that was the problem for me. It was the fact that they made you do side stuff in order to get to more mainline stuff. And if I can just bypass all that by lowering the difficulty and just play through the main story, I think I might actually get back to it.
Yeah,
You're
you
ruining the
can actually
artistic
turn
vision.
off.
No, Greg, no.
You're ruining
You
it.
can actually turn off level scaling, which is like the big thing for you that you hated.
Yeah,
So,
that's so stupid.
I think that'd make a big difference. Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, I've been playing, like I said, GTA 5. I started that. It's great. It's way better than I ever expected, to be honest. I was sort of like a guy who was just kind of shrugged at like Rockstar games in general. And because I had started GTA 5 a little bit in the past, and I started GTA 4 and 3. I actually played the 3 recently, but yeah, like I never really expected much, but after you really get into it, it's like, okay, this is like really incredibly well written and super funny. The characters are all terrible people, but they're hilarious,
Yeah.
and their dynamic is so funny. And I feel like this was back in a time, in a long ago time in 2013, whenever like you could write characters that were actual terrible human beings and no one batted an
Yeah.
eye, and like
Because
so like
people
these,
understood it's fiction.
yeah, people like back then understood fiction
Right.
doesn't mean it's what the developer believes in or anything.
Right.
So these characters are just awful people that say like the worst stuff you can imagine in a
Dude,
story of
so-
any kind. And
So bad.
and it's just hilarious to me. Like I think like raunchy comedy is funny, and I'm super into it. But aside from that, I finally beat Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, one of the best
Similar game.
platformers. Yeah, similar game. One of the best platformers
Very.
I've ever played. I loved it. The
That's
presentation
what
was
I've heard.
amazing. The music, just everything. Like it's simple in concept with like your attacks, like and your move set, but the platforming is just so well done that they really like utilize every little thing you can do in the most fun ways. And like all the way until the end of the game, they were throwing like these like super unique levels at you that you're like, wow, they saved like one of the best levels for the very end when they could have like put this in the front and like got people more into it, but they made it like I don't know, just like worth the wait almost. So yeah, that
Isn't
was
there
great.
like a silhouette level or something like that?
Yeah, that
It
was
really cool.
that was one of them where it was like just shadows the whole time.
That
I was
sounds
like,
really
wow.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And all you see is his tie, like DK's tie, and it's just red.
Wasn't there a
and
level
so-
like that in the first one too?
Maybe I didn't play the one on
Donkey
Wii.
Kong Country Returns.
You know, this is what's funny about Brett is he goes off about how Horizon's too hard, and then he beats like one of the most notoriously hard platformers of all time, and he's like, "Yeah, it wasn't too bad."
It was because
You
I
just
didn't
gotta
feel
be in
like
the
I was
mood
being
for it,
cheated.
man.
That's the thing. I didn't feel like I was being cheated when I died. I felt like the game is fair. It's just super challenging. Whereas Horizon, I have to be doing something wrong. Like I'm missing something because I'm dying in one hit from medium-sized enemies.
Have you checked all the settings to make sure you didn't accidentally turn something off or on or something? Because I know
Yeah,
there's
I've
quite a bit of
reset things. I've tried like checking the pause menus. I just like maybe
Wow.
the suit that I got or the outfit I got, like I got it from a mission, but maybe it was like a low level suit, but I upgraded it all the way, so I thought it would be decent. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I was
I
gonna
would
say
change your
like,
outfit.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say try that and like, are you taking damage from something that has an element that you're really weak to?
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
quite
because
sure.
there's some
'cause each-
armors that like their stats will be like you're super weak to like this, but you're really strong against this.
Right. Yeah, some of them are like
So-
you're really strong against melee, but you're really weak to shock, and so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know all that, obviously.
You dying
Yeah.
by the
But-
same type of attack?
No, it's just random attacks of all different kinds that I die from.
Yeah. One last thing you could try is just turning off your console and never turning it back on again.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, back to Donkey Kong real quick. I was gonna say one thing, now I can't remember. Oh yeah, I played through this game and got all the way to the middle of World 5, and then the game was on an external hard drive, and the hard drive like it would work for like a minute, and then it would say not enough power in the hard drive, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. So I kept trying to transfer it back to the console so I could play it off of the internal storage on the Wii U, but it kept failing every single time. So I literally had to just re-download the game on the internal storage and start completely over. So I spent a lot of time with that
Brutal.
game over the past week and a half or so.
Jeez.
Look, you have a lot of hardware problems, like just
It
in
seems-
general.
It seems like I do, that's for sure. And I bought like this attachment piece where you plug it into the hard drive to give it more power, and you plug it into the wall, and you plug it into the console, because it was saying that the hard drive wasn't getting enough power, so I bought that attachment, but then it didn't work anyway, so I was just like, okay, screw this, I'm starting over. I'm trying to think. I could have sworn I played something. Oh yeah, I mean, now we can hop into topic number 1, which is
Hey, just real quick,
Yeah.
I'm getting someone's like feedback from like I can hear myself talk, and then sounds like someone's video might be playing
Is it?
the stream.
Yeah, there's like an echo.
Is anyone playing their like the YouTube video anywhere?
I am, but it's on mute.
Yeah, I have it muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was hearing it earlier as well, but I'm
Is
not
it
sure.
our preview?
It's
Like,
Eric, damn it.
It's probably Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, he's taking a nap right now.
The guy who's doing everything to make this podcast run well.
Exactly. Okay. every single time, I'm like, Eric, can people hear you talking? Because they probably just think we're talking to no one. And then he says, yeah, they can hear me. And then I go listen to the audio. They can't hear shit. He's never in it. Ever. He's never been in the recording. But yeah. So anyway, this leads into topic number 1: Mario Kart Deluxe. Turns out it wasn't actually the deluxe version. 5 years later, we get new content for Mario Kart 8. It's finally here instead of Mario Kart 9. A lot of people are sad about it. I don't really care. I feel like this is peak Mario Kart. Just give me new levels and I'm happy. That said, these are not new levels. These are all versions from previous games. But if you haven't played Mario Kart Tour, then these technically are kind of new levels to you because most people don't play that game. So they're kind of new that if you haven't played them. But yeah, so who all has played this and did you like it? Let's start with Mary.
I played it. I liked it. I had to. So, okay. All my friends were freaking out about Coconut Mall for some reason. And I was like, have I played this? Do I just not remember it? What is the hype behind like this track? And I played
Great.
it and I was like, I've never touched this. I don't remember this. I was like,
What?
yeah, like I don't think I ever played that Mario Kart or any version
Is it
that
from
like,
the Wii?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's from the Wii.
Oh
But
yeah.
I played it. It's a really fun track, but yeah, all my friends like were losing their minds over Coconut Mall. So I finally got to see what the hype was about.
Yeah,
Final
I
verdict?
like that map a lot. What, Greg?
Did it meet your expectations?
I expected the music to really capture my soul a little bit more by the way people had hyped it up, but it was
I
good.
gotta
It was
look
a
at
lot of
this.
fun.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the highlights. I think I'm gonna bring it up on my Switch just so I can remember which ones they added. But
How do the tracks look graphically compared to like the originals?
they
I've
completely
seen videos,
overhauled.
but are they?
Yeah, so
That's
they look
cool.
completely overhauled and just on par with the rest of Mario Kart 8, which still is a very pretty game. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
yeah, they look really great. 60 frames per second, gorgeous. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna bring up the list real fast. But Greg, did you get around to playing this DLC?
No, I did not. But the soundtrack for Coconut Mall is dope.
Now, Brett, I know you didn't get around to playing it, but
I did
John,
not.
did you?
I have the game on Wii U, so
Oh yeah, keep
Yeah.
forgetting.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat.
He refuses to play it on Switch.
He refuses. But yeah, so
I think it looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely really solid tracks. I really liked the Paris level from Mario Kart Tour because it changes in the third lap like pretty
Yeah.
drastically, and I liked that a lot because it was
Mhm.
basically the first time I ever played it. So I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I didn't expect this from a phone game. And aside from that, they also brought in 2 other Mario Kart Tour maps. I think they kind of know that most people who play the mainline games probably didn't play the mobile game, so they're like, let's keep bringing on these levels that we already made and they're already in HD, and we don't got to do much work to them except like bring them over. I don't know how game development works. It was probably super
Yeah,
challenging,
it's
but
probably pretty
anyway,
easy.
Something like that.
just drag it and drop it into this Mario Kart.
Yep.
Is it?
But they
Done.
also brought over Tokyo Blur from Mario Kart Tour and Ninja Hideaway. And Ninja Hideaway is the only one I haven't tried yet because I was in the middle of playing through them all right before this show started.
That one was a bit challenging
Really?
for me. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like it's got like 2 different levels. So like you can either go on the top of it or you can go like down below it. And like I don't know. I'm also not like the best at Mario Kart, but I liked it a lot, like visually.
Yeah. Probably my favorite one they brought over was Shroom Bridge or Shroom Ridge, actually, on from the DS. And I really loved Mario Kart DS. I think it's probably the second best Mario Kart game below Mario Kart 8. And yeah, it was just nice like reliving that memory of playing that track because I haven't played it since then. I don't think it was in Mario Kart. What was after the DS one? Oh, 7. I don't know. Did they bring any old levels?
I
to
thought it
7?
was in 7. Maybe I'm tripping.
I don't think they brought old tracks to 7, did they? I can't remember.
I don't remember anymore. Well, actually, I don't
Yeah.
think I played 7. I think I just played the DS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 was pretty good. I remember being surprised how fast 8 came out after 7 because we
Yeah.
like just got a Mario Kart and I was like, oh, this is great. And then they announced Mario Kart 8. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that was fast. But that's just in my memory. So maybe they're like years apart and I can't remember. But I could have sworn they were close together. But yeah, there's not much to say about it except it's really cool. I'm excited to see what other tracks they bring over because there's tons of awesome ones to choose from. They haven't brought over Donkey Kong Mountain yet, have they, or did they? From Double Dash. Oh, I have the game in front of me actually. DK Mountain. That's like one of my favorite ones, and I don't remember them bringing it over, but I could be wrong.
Double Dash is
Wow.
100% my favorite Mario Kart game.
Yeah, it's
freaking
actually
love that game.
I forgot about Double Dash. It's probably a tie between DS and Double Dash for me.
I think the Wii one was also pretty good too.
The Wii one sucked, Greg. All right, they
Are you
ruined
kidding?
the drifting.
Are you being serious right
cool
now?
Checkmate.
Well, I'm kind of serious because I did not like the steering that much in the Wii one because if you played with a wheel, you could steer very.
It was hard.
strong. But
The
you-
wheel was so
you could steer-
easy.
I know, but you could steal very strong with the wheel. But if you used a controller, like you could barely like turn at all. You had to drift, and it had to be like 100% perfect, which is cool. But
No,
like,
you're just making stuff up now. You're not even a true Nintendo fan.
you know what, Greg? Yes, I am.
No one will ever understand it.
You're not even a real Nintendo fan. Yes, I am.
You know what?
Okay.
Yes, I am. I promise it was funny, guys. I promise.
Yeah, we promised the inside joke was funny.
When we're not recording, we're just immaculately hilarious.
Yes,
Fucking hilarious.
exactly.
Yeah.
Jokes
Yeah.
are
Very funny people.
The cool thing about this is like there was a couple Mario Karts along the way that I just never played. So to me, this is almost going to be like a brand new game, you know. So I'm definitely excited about it.
I mean, if you sorry to interrupt you, but if you waited
good.
until everything was out and just played like all the levels, it'd be like playing a brand new Mario Kart for you,
Yeah.
basically. Like a full game because after all the DLC is out, it will officially be double the amount of tracks as the base game plus the DLC, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of tracks.
It's pretty cool.
Still begs the question,
Indeed.
like, what the fuck is next?
Yeah, like I mean,
Mario
I
Kart
think
9.
I think they're gonna milk this game.
The Switch Pro.
Mario Kart 9 Switch Pro launch game in 2026.
2030.
I think that'll be Metroid Prime 4.
Probably, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mario
It'll be
Kart,
delayed.
Mario Kart 9 and Metroid Prime 4 would like be a great launch because you get like the casual audience and then the hardcore people, like the perfect launch games right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other feelings on Mario Kart? We probably won't see any more tracks. So I would say like 2 months before they announce like there's more coming. They're probably
Something
gonna
like
they're gonna keep milking this game as much as they
Oh,
can
yeah.
probably because it's
yeah.
still selling like crazy.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny. It just constantly sells.
Yeah, it's like GTA
Yeah.
5.
Yeah,
Just
I was
sells.
gonna
Like
say,
who's
It is,
people
yeah.
buying it?
Yep.
John will be the one buying it soon whenever he finally gives in and buys it on Switch. He
Like
won't.
I play everything alone, so like there's really no incentive for me to buy multiplayer anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Before this DLC came out, it's probably have been. No, I did play with my family whenever they were over, but that's so like few and far between. But yeah, I'm not really playing Mario Kart all that much, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like a couple times a year you pop it in and play with your family, and that's it.
Yep.
But you want to have all the tracks and stuff when you do that, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's no hamster ball, but
It's no hamster ball. The family get around the TV, all gathered together to play some
I
hamster
still have
ball.
no idea what that looks like.
Just picture a hamster and a ball. Then you got it.
Thick.
It's a great game too. That's the funny part. Like it's actually really good. Exclusively on PS3 and Android.
That is very random. PS3 and Android.
Never came to iPhone. I wish it was because then I would buy it for my kids on their phone. But yeah, next news topic. Let's check it out. I forgot the list. I remember one though. A Plague Tale, the video game that came out a few years ago now, which I really loved, is getting a TV series. This is following tons and tons of video game in France. Yeah, this is following tons of video games getting announced for TV shows. It seems like the biggest TV and movies in the next few years are going to be based on video games. And a lot of the biggest video games now are based on like licensed properties like Spider-Man and Wolverine and stuff. So it's just funny how it's all kind of combining together. And now like video game movies, like maybe in a few years, they're not going to really be looked down upon, because there might actually be like a few solid ones out there where people are like, no, this is good.
Yeah.
I think
I
Uncharted
think
has
it's
already
pretty good.
become one of the highest grossing like video game movies like worldwide.
Yeah, that's just
Warcraft is still number one, which is funny.
That's insane.
It's because like everyone in China went to see this movie.
Oh yeah, the China audience. Lots of people love Warcraft there.
Apparently.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I don't really understand the argument now that like there are no good video game movies. I think there are plenty of decently good video game movies and TV shows if you want to count something like The Witcher, which is based on the book, but still the video games popularized the IP, and they obviously took inspiration from the video games with the show.
I just feel like we get like so many like 2 steps forward and then like 4 steps back. Like, for every Sonic the Hedgehog movie, we get like a Resident Evil.
Oh my god! Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another one that
series
just got announced. The Netflix series.
Yeah, it's got my guy.
The Wesker series.
It's got Lance
Reddick.
Reddick,
yeah.
From Horizon Forbidden West.
The guy from Quantum Break.
Oh, it's that guy.
Popular guy from Quantum Break.
Yeah. Oh, he's Silence.
I like him. He's Silence. Yeah.
I didn't realize he was Silence. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the guy, so okay, that finally gives me a point of reference for him. Okay, that's cool.
You mean to tell me you didn't play the hit Xbox game Quantum Break?
No, I did not. Especially not in the past 5 years.
Now, Brett, you look like you wanted to say something, Brett, so go ahead.
No, I was going to say Horizon Forbidden West, like if you weren't paying attention, it actually has a few like fairly big name actors. Like there's, of course, Lance Reddick.
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Carrie-Anne Moss. And then...
What about Carrie-Anne Moss? Isn't she in it too?
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss plays Carrie-Anne Moss in it.
Yeah. She survived the apocalypse and everything.
Oh,
Brett, that's all there is.
No, Angela Bassett. She's really big from all the American Horror Stories. Yeah, she's awesome. I love Angela Bassett.
I know the name.
I know the name, but I can't put a face to it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the upcoming Resident Evil Netflix series in particular, I have like very little faith in it because it sounds like The Walking Dead over again, but like potentially even worse. Because the main character is Wesker's daughter, who's like trying to like learn the truth of what happened with all these horrible things and what role her father played in it. And also she has a missing sister. What happened to her sister?
Billy.
Who cares?
Her name is Billy. But dude,
what happened to Billy?
I don't understand. We get a Mortal Kombat movie where there's just a bunch of corporate freaking idiots sitting around a table. They're like, let's have the main character be someone not from the game so that people can relate to him because they're being thrust into this world. And then Resident Evil, it's like, we have this huge cast of iconic characters. We could make a show around Ada, around Leon, around Chris, Jill, Claire, such popular characters. But they're like, no, Albert Wesker's children, they're going to be the main characters of this show. That's what makes the most sense. Why?
I feel like I feel
So
like an
weird.
Ada movie would be like the best option at this
Oh
point.
my god, I would
Can
freaking
you imagine
cry.
an
Yeah.
Ada
That
would
movie?
be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
incredible.
Be great.
That would be great. Yeah.
Just
She's
a
got
movie.
such like a mysterious background, and like I feel like they could do some cool stuff with her.
Capcom,
But of
the-
course,
call
they
me.
don't.
I will write that movie. I will quit my job to write that movie.
But if you directed that movie, you would hire actors and then you would dub in the voices of the
Yes,
characters from
yeah.
the video game.
Hey, they did that. Remember? They did it with Ada.
Okay, what would
Oh,
you do if you had the original voice actor for Ada, or Carrie Ann Moss says she'll do it for free?
I mean, Carrie Ann Moss is a little too old to play Ada, so we're gonna have to
Come
go with
on,
someone
man.
else.
It's
she's not
ageism.
really the right ethnicity either.
Yeah, that as well.
Well,
A very
I guess,
white-looking
I
Ada
guess
Wong.
a fair point. I don't know. Ada Wong kind of just does look white to me.
She's like, I think she's mixed, like, like white and Asian, like half and
I'm
half.
gonna look this up.
Or maybe
Yeah.
she's just full on not white at all. But I could have sworn I
Mhm.
read something a long time ago about that.
She's
Or
stuck
maybe
in
they
her
don't.
lane.
Wikipedia only says of Asian descent.
It seems like they've never clarified it.
Very
Yeah.
vague.
Such a mystery.
I
Yeah.
think she's full Asian personally.
Are we gonna find out that
Probably.
mystery too in the next show?
Yep.
Hopefully, yeah. These are the
I mean-
important details.
I'm wondering, like, with a story that's based around Wesker's kid who's trying to figure out what he did at Umbrella and trying to find out how her sister died or something like that. That's what I read. That was in like a leaked script or something.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
wondering,
in the
like,
official
oh, okay. I'm wondering if, like, is there any room to like introduce another character from the games? Like, would anyone make sense? Like, who knows Wesker's made up daughter? Like, what?
thing. Yeah.
Can I just say that sounds just fucking awful? Like that sounds
Why
like
would
the
they do
dumbest,
this?
It
the
does. Yeah, I
dumbest
know.
move for a Resident Evil franchise. Like, there's so
Yes.
many batshit crazy things happening, and you choose his daughter. No one
Yeah,
cares.
why? I don't get it.
And
And
in
Brett
the
said there's
game-
so many
Like-
iconic characters in those games. There's just
Yeah.
so many directions they could have gone with it.
Like,
Right.
even
I
and
would
the
have loved
official
to, like-
synopsis, I don't think even mentioned zombies. I don't think it mentioned zombies. I don't think it used the Z
No,
word.
I don't think there's going to be, because it's going to be doing like a dual timeline thing where the main like timeline is following Wesker's daughter trying to figure out who her dad is, and then the other one's like 15 years later. So typically that would mean zombies are sort of phased out and it's all like monsters and stuff now, like
Podcast.
in like Resident
Mhm.
Evil, the later movies, like in the like the films, where it's all liquors and all crazy big monsters, and like zombies aren't really that big of a deal anymore.
If there's no zombies in a Resident Evil show, I will never watch TV again. Like, what the fuck?
I guess we'll see. But it just does not sound good to me. Like, I'm just wondering, like, who
Yeah, it sounds
Man,
awful.
sounds like-
Everything-
who did they put
everything
in
I've heard.
charge?
That's frustrating.
I'll be pleasantly surprised if this is even like at all good. Like,
You know, it's not going to be.
because the idea of it'd be cool if this is like, okay, this is set in the games universe and we're finding out about like a side story that we didn't know existed, but it's not. It's not connected to the games at all. This is like a full reboot, and they chose to go the route of following Wesker's brand new character that's his daughter. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It just
And
sounds
I
dumb.
Spoiled brat of a daughter.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think they, aside from Wesker, I don't think they specified who's playing which character yet. But the implication seems to be that the lady
Lance.
from that Square Enix game, what's it called? Forsaken, one of those 2.
Uh-huh.
For spoken. Yeah.
She, I think, plays the lead. I think, like, she's in the
Really?
cast, and I just assume by process of elimination that she's the main daughter.
Jade. Yeah, that's her name is Jade.
Yeah. Like, it's very weird. I
Jade
think
Raymond.
they've only specified who Lance Reddick's playing. Like, they
Albert
announced the rest
Wesker,
of the
yeah.
cast. I don't think they said who any of them are playing though.
Yeah,
So I
they
just
haven't.
assume she's the one playing Jade. But
Wow, and they've announced a lot of the cast. I should probably like Google them and
Yeah.
see if they. Well, I don't even think if they looked like anyone, it would necessarily mean they're playing them, because
no, yeah, because
Obviously.
Wesker looks a little different.
yeah, he looks slightly different in this version.
But the weird thing is the showrunner of this series is some dude who's like written for Supernatural, that TV
Yeah.
show, and like
Yeah.
that might be his most significant credit.
I
It's
think he was the
pretty weird.
showrunner, like the full-on showrunner of that, which
I
doesn't give me
I
much
don't.
confidence because that's Monster of the Week BS
Right.
usually.
That's a
Yeah.
totally different tone, totally different type of show, you know.
If they go
Okay.
like,
All right. So
go ahead, what?
okay. Well, according to Wikipedia, anyway, he wrote like 45 episodes. So yeah, that would make him a driving force
Yeah,
of Supernatural. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's kind of weird to me that we literally just had a movie that introduced all these live action characters, and now
Yeah.
we're getting another live action thing, and it's not connected to that in any way. That seems a little odd to me. I feel like it should be sort of like this interconnected thing where it's continuing the story of Chris or Claire, you know?
They're just throwing shit at the wall.
So
And
that
hope it's
makes
fixed.
that makes too much sense. Why would they do that?
Right. And
Yeah.
like, it's even weirder to me that like it's like this isn't even the first Netflix Resident Evil series. They did the
Yeah, I
CG
was,
one that nobody liked.
Yeah.
I was just
Terribly
gonna say
reviewed.
they need to get Resident Evil off of Netflix, give it to HBO, and say do something with
Yes.
this
Yeah.
because
For
HBO
sure.
I think would knock it out of the park.
Definitely.
Maybe like
But
we don't know what they're doing with The Last of Us yet.
I have
mean, that's
some
true.
confidence in The Last of Us just because it's HBO.
Just
Yeah,
wish they would
yeah, right.
concentrate their efforts in one place instead of like, no, we're gonna get this one in theaters, and you're getting this one on Netflix, and there's a CGI one, and like
Yeah.
none of them like there's no like direction that everything's heading into. I think that's why it
Yeah.
feels so
Yeah.
disjointed.
Yeah. Well,
And there's
Capcom's going for the hat trick. They want to go 0 for 3.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they're thinking. That they need to just get like they started doing this where it was like making sense where they had their games and then the CG movies coming out alongside the games that also featured the characters from the games with the same actors back in the day. And it all connected. Like there was actually like little mentions of the games in the movies and vice versa, which was really cool. And now that that's really popular to do stuff like that, they were way ahead of the curve. Now they're not doing that for some reason. They're doing this.
Yeah.
Here's the IP. You do whatever you want with it. Doesn't have to connect. Doesn't have to do anything special. It can be this random ass Wesker daughter show.
Yep.
and I tell you, I wrote the series for Supernatural, so I'm queued up to ready to do this one. I'm like, fuck off.
I wrote Days of Our Lives. I wrote 67 episodes.
Did you see that interview with I think it was like the writers or the showrunner of the Halo show, and they were like, when we talked to Bungie or not Bungie, 343, we never talked about the games ever. The games never
so
came up.
weird.
I'm like, how?
That is bizarre.
How?
Yeah. I have
Like literally,
I don't have much faith in a lot of these shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't
really
either.
think The Last of Us is going to be good, and not just because I love the games, but because I really have that much faith in HBO. Like, even just look at like Watchmen. Like when I heard that was
Oh my
being
God, it's
announced, I was
amazing.
like, oh, they're gonna butcher it. It's gonna be awful,
Right.
and it was so freaking good.
10
It
out of
was
10.
That's what I've
incredible.
heard.
Yeah, it was
I've heard it's
amazing. So
fantastic.
Mhm.
yeah, it is. It is. So I really think Last of
Last
Us is going to be something good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And now what were we just talking about right before that? I had something I wanted to say, and now I can't remember. If it's gone, it's gone. All right, let's move on. Next up, The Witcher 4 was announced. And we'll probably not see it for like 5 more years. So is anybody excited or
6 or 7 years. Yeah.
it just seems like CDPR was like, guys, we need a win. Let's just
Yeah.
announce this
Yeah.
damn game.
We've gone through a lot of shit lately.
Right.
PlayStation 6 launch game.
Yeah, probably.
Some good
Maybe.
PR.
Like it feels like such a it's very weird to say, but it feels like it's a complex question to ask if we should be excited about this or not. Because there's like
Yeah.
so many weird variables in play here. So number one, The Witcher 3 was spectacular. I would say like at least 90% of the people who played it were really impressed by it. Generally universal acclaim. Then we have Cyberpunk, which disappointed a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. I personally enjoyed it a lot, but it was a very weird game.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then, obviously CDPR like crunched its people into oblivion and still managed to deliver something that's subpar. and there doesn't seem to be a lot of reason to believe that anything in the culture has changed since then. So that's another concern. Fourth concern, they've moved over to Unreal Engine 5, which is totally new territory for them. Maybe that'll work out really well in the long run because obviously Epic Games has like their own documentation. They've been running this machine for a bazillion years. Like they know what they're doing. So I'm sure that CDPR is going to be really well supported there. But still, it is a shift and it's something we have to be mindful of. Concern number 5, if they're not using Geralt now, if they're not using
Siri.
Geralt, then yeah, if they're not using those characters, and it seems that they're not, and there's even like there's theories that this is going to be like a different time period altogether. Like you're basically doing a reset. And if you think about what BioWare did when they did a reset with Mass Effect,
I
we
was
got
gonna say.
Andromeda. Yeah, some people liked that, and some people didn't. And we know which way that the opinion like leaned. So like it just feels like there's so many ways for a Witcher 4 to go wrong. And that's not to say I think it'll be bad. It could be a spectacular game because The Witcher 3 was very much more in their wheelhouse than Cyberpunk, and that's why Cyberpunk took so long to make. They literally didn't know what they were doing because they hadn't made that sort of game before. So like I'm leaning more towards this being good than being garbage, but it's a long road and anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't actually hear about possibly no Geralt. What is a Witcher game without Geralt? You know?
Well, it'll be a different Witcher.
Yeah, but come on,
it's
like he's the face of the franchise. That'd be like
how do you
So is
just
Commander
find somebody
Shepard, though.
likable?
Like,
Right?
that would be like if they made a Last of Us game and Joel wasn't like in it the whole time. Oh wait.
Brett, we're not going down that path today. We're not doing that today.
And spoilers.
It's been a year now. They had long enough.
Maybe they'll do like a Resident Evil TV show where like Geralt's long lost cousin's daughter. She's the one that she's trying to find her sister.
Trying to get to the bottom of this whole Witcher organization.
Well, I was actually going to say something similar to John hit a lot of points, but like the one that was sticking out in my mind is like, yeah, how do they wash their hands of Cyberpunk? But also it was kind of a relief to hear that it's a Witcher game and not something else because, you know, they tried this thing and it failed. Well, it didn't exactly fail, but you know, it
sales
didn't
wise
exactly
yeah.
But
it
you know,
did well, but didn't.
It's like they almost get a pass now. Like, oh yeah, you're doing Witcher stuff again. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's unfortunately. I mean that's how fans are, including myself. It's like I get all excited. Oh, The Witcher 4 is coming. That's awesome. And I'm like genuinely really excited for it. But I'm not gonna forget that that Cyberpunk was a pretty big disappointment. Even though I still enjoyed it and I liked it like a lot in various ways, it still was overall disappointing. And so I'm a little more trepidatious for this Witcher 4, but I really love The Witcher 3 so much. It's a totally different style of game, and I think this is where the studio should stay, is in this type of game. I'm sure they'll do more Cyberpunk as well, but I'm glad they're coming back to The Witcher.
Protagonist.
There is an expansion in development right now for Cyberpunk. Yeah. And
But it
they're
is
not.
kind of.
I don't think they're given an update on if multiplayer is ever coming.
I think they said no, it's not. I think they did confirm it's not for Cyberpunk.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
What a move though. Like, by the way, we're going to cancel this thing we announced, but we're also working on a new game, so
yeah,
it's getting put to rest.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Just pretend like we never said that other thing.
Yeah.
I do remember them saying that like The Witcher 3 was supposed to be like the end of like they were done like for the most part. I heard that in like some interview like years ago, but then it turned into like a huge hit. I think that interview was actually before the game even came out. Like they were saying this is our final attempt, and then ended up being massive. So like, oh, I mean, we got to make another Witcher game. It was a big hit. So because the first two games weren't, they were niche and like not many people knew about them. The Witcher 3 put CDPR on the map.
I don't know. I think two started to. I think once it came to 360, more people started to like really embrace it.
Second,
I don't think it sold well. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I think
1.7 million.
How many for Witcher 3? How many units?
Compared to Witcher 3.
Well, think about it. For a game that started off as like a
20
hardcore
million?
PC RPG on the PC was one, and then 2 got the console adaptation.
Over
I
30
feel like that's a
million.
pretty
30
strong.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and,
mean, Witcher 3 was like a once in a generation type of game, though. Like it's
Yeah.
still in people's
Cyberpunk
top
proved
3
that.
all time.
No, but yeah, no, Greg. Yeah, I played The Witcher 2 basically just to like kind of familiarize myself with the world before I moved on to The Witcher 3, and like I think I actually preferred The Witcher 2. Like the story was really
Really?
good. Like
No,
yeah,
don't,
like
Greg,
it's a,
John, don't spoil it because I'm literally halfway through the game. Just so
Oh
you know.
no, it's been how
Okay,
long has
cool.
it been? How many years?
No.
Spoil it.
Honestly,
Spoil
I
it.
can request because
Spoil
I'm
the
sitting
shit
right
out of
here.
honestly, I
denied.
couldn't spoil I couldn't spoil much if I tried because I barely remember it anymore, honestly. But like
Okay.
I because The Witcher 2 is linear, but like there's like 3 main episodes, and at the end of each one, like you can kind of splinter off in like one of 2 like quite different directions, and it really sets you off on like a major different foot for the next section of the game. And I only played through it once, but like the story was like really engaging, and I really liked the characters, and like the things that happened are really interesting. And I mean, obviously that continues into the third one, but I appreciated how in the second one it was like a really concise experience, and like everything was like channeled one way. Like it just felt really artfully done.
Definitely, the story is way easier to follow in the second game too, and
Yeah.
it's just immediately enthralling, to be honest. Like the story's actually really good so far. Like I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
better than the third game already, I think, and I haven't even beat it yet.
Yeah.
Really?
In terms of the story, I do think the third game is better, like in terms of the world building and the bounty hunting and all the stuff that's not really in the second game.
Yeah, like
May-
oh yeah, the third one totally has like a ton of really cool side quests and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
super memorable side stuff that you could have just not even done and just you wouldn't even never known. um,
Yeah.
so yeah, they're both great though. I highly recommend people play The Witcher 2 because I'm sure a lot of people already played 3. The Witcher 2 is on Series X and you can actually play it in native 4K on there, so that's nice.
Oh, that is cool. And obviously it's like all over the place on PC. That's how I
Yeah.
played it years ago.
I
Yeah.
bought the bundle.
It's
for
on
usually
Switch
on
too.
sale
$5.
anyway.
I
Yeah.
expected the controller experience to be so bad after like hearing the reviews and stuff for The Witcher 2. But when I hopped in, I was just like, oh, this is just like The Witcher 3, basically. Like it doesn't feel that different. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
this isn't that bad.
I'm pretty sure I played it mouse and keyboard and it was no big deal. So yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Witcher 2 PC $3.39.
Boom.
Nice. Go
Cheap.
buy it, dude.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I should go back and play that, and that would actually open me up to getting into The Witcher 3. Because John, I'm one of the 10%. I couldn't get into The Witcher 3. I tried 3 different times,
I've never
and I played it like 5 to 10 hours each. And like
Mary, you
every
never
time,
played it either?
It's
Mm-mm.
yeah,
wow.
it was like every time I played it, it's not that I disliked it. It just didn't grab me. Kind of like how Horizon is with you. It's just not grabbing me. And like something else would come out and I would put it aside and just never went back to it. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you can like stand like the obvious like graphical dip from 2 to 3, then yeah, I would heartily recommend giving 2 a try, especially if it's like $3.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Brett, you have access
I'm
to
sorry,
my
go
games
ahead,
on
Mary.
Xbox.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna,
Mary, go ahead.
I was
Yes,
gonna
we
say
do.
like, I think it's maybe this is the sign for me to try and like get back into the series again because I bought the entire series like on Steam, but at the time I was very set on like playing them in order. And I was
Mhm.
told not to do that, and I was stubborn. I was like, "No, I'm gonna play 1, I'm gonna play 2, and then I'll play 3." And 1 is not I could not get into it.
I've
Very
heard
I
one
dated.
is like
I've
very
tried
rough these days.
I have
Yeah.
tried like 5 times to get through the beginning of that game, and for some reason, like, it just doesn't. So I'm like, "Okay, I'll do, like, cliff notes, I'll read the synopsis of 1 and 2, and I'll just go straight to 3," like everyone keeps telling me to.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
one,
2.
one is a very PC game, like very
Mhm.
computer. This game was born on PC.
I think I
Yeah.
bought the first one for probably like $1 or $2, and I still haven't even touched it because I always hear bad things about it.
Yeah, I'm typically like that too. Like I will just play the first game and make my way through it. But with The Witcher 3, the marketing that they did for it, like they were talking like this is a great spot to jump in, and I thought they were right. Like it did seem like a good spot to jump in, and I played it and loved it, and I took this long to play The Witcher 2, but it always made me want to play The Witcher 2 because of how good it was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
This
that's it for the
episode was
Witcher chat.
sponsored by CD Projekt Red.
Yep. Now let's see if there's any other topics we forgot to go over before we have to get out of here.
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts and the Switch
Yeah.
update. We finally got folders 5 years later.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nintendo.
So exciting.
Ah.
That is. I spent like upwards of half an hour last night when like I really need to go to sleep, like just making folders for my games. Like I will probably never use these folders for anything. It just felt really nice to organize them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I never use folders on any of the consoles.
Neither of
don't
us.
either.
I didn't
No.
even know. I didn't even know PlayStation had an option for folders. I didn't
They
know.
do?
PS4. I
Does
don't-
PS5? I don't
PS5
think-
does.
Apparently.
I don't think so. Oh, does it?
Okay.
PS4
Oh,
did. I
maybe
don't know
it does.
about PS5.
Be like my
Um,
3DS. Like I toss stuff into folders, and I'm like, oh yeah, I bought this game.
PS5 is something I should probably use the folders with because I got a terabyte SSD. So like I actually have a ton of games on there now. So, like that's something I could actually utilize now. But like on my PS4, I didn't have that much storage. So it was like, why would I even use it? But yeah.
With Switch,
I'm
the
scanning
f-
Google. It sounds like PS5 actually still doesn't have folders.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Another
makes
reason the
sense.
PlayStation Vita is better than PS5. But
There you go.
the Switch, all the thumbnails stay on the home screen if you want them to, like even if the game isn't installed. And so that's actually better
Oh,
for
gotcha.
folders.
Okay.
So
I was thinking
So-
it was only for installed games. That makes a lot of sense then.
yeah, on Switch you can choose to have it on your home screen and just you can archive the file, but your save stays right there. So you can still
okay.
see it on your home screen and just click download and just pick up where you left off without having to worry about cloud saves or anything.
Gotcha.
I like that
That's
too.
cool,
You can
actually.
put stuff into a folder, and you can tell it like which to display first when you open the folder. Like just little things
Yeah.
like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love sorting. I put them all in alphabetical order.
I was gonna go by
You
genre.
really did spend time last night.
A lot of
I was
work.
like, I want to put them
Yeah.
by genre and like put all platformers and stuff into one.
John's
Yeah.
folders: JRPGs 1, JRPGs 2, JRPGs 3.
They're all
Yeah.
just JRPG folders.
RPGs. That might have been the first folder I made. I forget. Yeah. And Square Enix is also its own folder.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
folders are cool. I hope we see more updates on Switch in the future. I think the operating system could still use a lot of things. Like friends that are like
I was gonna say
not
themes,
friend
maybe.
codes and
Yeah.
themes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey,
Come on,
3
bring
days from
themes
Kirby.
back.
3 days.
It'll
Three-
catch up to Xbox 360 one of these days.
Exactly. But another reason PlayStation Vita is better than PS5. It has themes. But so the final topic, Hogwarts Legacy got revealed, and to many people's surprise, this is a native Nintendo Switch game. Nobody saw
Yeah.
that coming. Not streaming, playing natively on the hardware. And I'm probably not going to play this version, but I'm happy that it exists, and I hope that it looks not like a
Awful.
PS1 game.
Oh my god. You like I can't, that game is gonna look like Pokemon Legends.
Yeah.
Like
And,
like-
and it's
Bottom of
going to
the
run
barrel.
like Apex
Right.
Legends does on Switch.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's like it's like not even it's like the little things like draw distance. Like even if it looked
Yeah.
like bland textures, at least have the draw distance down.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta
this
get
is
stuff
really
like that
surprising,
down.
and I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
Calling it right now. A few months before the game comes out, Switch version delayed, and we will hear about it a year
Definitely.
later. Definitely.
Yes. Except I think it'll be delayed like the month before.
Oh,
And
okay.
then it'll come out a year later. Yeah.
Did they say that it's that the Switch version is being done in house, or are they sending it out to someone like
I don't think they said.
Yeah, I don't think they specified. In fact, like they didn't even like do like a big tweet of like, ladies and gentlemen, this is coming to Nintendo Switch. No, it was literally in an updated fax on their website. And that was it.
I think
And then
that
people
must
just
have
noticed it in
something.
the facts.
I think that must have something to do with PlayStation owning the marketing for the game. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna
Maybe,
look
but
like
like,
ass.
Because you guys might
And-
remember a few days before the state of play, PlayStation was like,
Yes.
we've been meaning to do, or like, we've been wanting to do this for a long time, and we're glad to finally show you what we've been working on. PlayStation was saying
Yes.
this for some reason.
Yes.
Not
Hey,
Avalanche.
so many people were thinking that it was going to be something big. Like I heard someone say like, what if PlayStation's buying WB? And I'm like, no, they're not buying them. I'm like, what if they're doing this? What if this is a PlayStation exclusive? I'm like, no, stop, dude. And then it ended up being nothing. Like,
It was just the game. Like,
'cause, like,
that's what they were
like you
talking
said,
about.
Like that announcement made it sound like it was going to be something so cool, or like I thought for sure there'd be like exclusive content or something, and like literally nothing at all.
So their wording was so weird because they made it sound like this was like a PlayStation game, but no, this is
Yeah.
a multi-platform game, including Switch.
on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Probably
said
on Amazon
what we
streaming
have
service.
what we have been working on, like
Maybe-
like it
maybe
was
that deal,
exclusive,
like-
first party.
Maybe that deal like fell through at the last minute or something, that they had to make that announcement, or we're still gonna ride with it. I don't know.
I don't know. I
just-
think they just
it
have
looks-
marketing for the game, and they're
Maybe.
making
Yeah.
people
It's too nice
they're
to be
making
on
people
Switch.
think Hogwarts Legacy and PlayStation are like a couple, basically. Like they want people to whoever thinks of the game, they want them to think, oh, I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation because that's what it's on, even though it's on everything.
I think Eric's playing like the old, maybe
I know. It's like,
PlayStation
wait a minute.
Yeah.
game of
PS1.
Harry Potter, and like, and
That's the
that
Switch
okay,
version.
Yeah, that's the Switch version. And, like, so Eric picked the perfect one. There you go. There it is.
This is a preview of what it will look like.
Yeah,
Probably.
like genuinely, yeah. Like
I
set
love
your
the Switch, but it
expectations
is
accordingly.
very underpowered.
You just
At
yeah,
this
just
point.
can't handle that. So I'm surprised, very surprised that that's going to be native.
Yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like every time there's an indie game, like I default to wanting it on Switch because typically the
me too.
indies aren't like intensive,
Right.
and so like I'm
Right.
very happy to play it on Switch and have that
Mhm.
mobility. Yeah.
That's why I'm excited about Kirby too. Is it just like it's something that works so well with the Switch, and being able to go into any room and play it. Like I'm really looking forward to that game.
Oh, yeah.
And like I went through like a thing where for like 2 months straight I played so many indies, and I had the opportunity to download them on PlayStation or Xbox, but every one of them I played on Switch because it just felt right. It felt so good. But
Mhm.
man, a game
Yeah.
like this, I can't see it.
No.
I don't
Perhaps
want to play a
literally.
big AAA game like this on my Switch. And I hate to say that,
Yeah.
but that's just the reality.
No, yeah, I'm definitely if I play it, it's definitely on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Having covered Switch specifically for the past like 5 years, I played a lot of those games on Switch instead of other platforms. So like Wolfenstein 2 and that sequel that came out, those are like Switch memories for
Youngblood?
me. That's not a
Mhm.
lot of people. Yeah, Youngblood.
Yeah,
So like I associate
So
the
blurry.
Wolfenstein series with Switch because of those review codes.
Right?
So it's just kind of funny.
yeah, I think one of the last things I reviewed on Switch was actually Lost in Random, that EA original
yeah.
from they're called Zoink, I think. Like
Yeah, that always looked
Pretty-
interesting.
yeah, so for some reason I previewed it on PC and then I reviewed it on Switch. And my PC, I've had it for years now, but I looked up the specs. I think it's actually like comparable to like an Xbox One X in power. And so Lost in Random looked like absolutely beautiful on my PC. Like I was enamored with it. Like the art direction in the first place is fantastic, but like if you saw the game, like it was kind of like a wow moment. It really was. And then I start playing it on the Switch, and it was all right.
It was alright.
Oh.
like the wow factor was definitely gone. Like, and sometimes I was genuinely impressed with how it looked on Switch, but like there was other times, like there was one area where like it was genuinely hard to see sometimes. Like it was like so muddy that like I didn't know what I was looking at. So like that's kind of what you're working with on Switch.
Dude, Lost in Random looks awesome.
No, it does. This is the
Yeah.
game last week. Eric was playing a game last week, and I was like, "What game is he playing? This is it." Yeah,
Oh,
this looks
Really? I
amazing.
don't remember him playing this on the screen last week.
Yeah, I don't
For
remember. I
just
think
a second, he did, and I was asking him what
No.
game it was.
No,
and, like, he
Brett,
moved past it.
no.
You're
Brett,
mistaken, my
was.
friend.
Brett, get
You
out.
guys are
No.
Spent too
Nevertheless,
much time living the DILF life.
Yeah.
How did your mind?
But
Nevertheless, I do recommend this game. Just don't play it on.
now
Okay,
Yeah.
could have been on Game Pass, maybe.
where is everyone's hype level? Because I'm a casual Harry Potter fan who has seen all of the movies, and I really love the universe. Like, they're not my favorite movies ever or anything, but I've always really taken to the universe of Harry Potter. I think it's fascinating. I think it's charming and awesome. And just being able to explore Hogwarts for me is going to be like kind of like reliving my childhood because I grew up with those movies. And I'm really excited for that. Just exploring Hogwarts, just that element alone, because like the game visually looks stunning, which is awesome, and all the other stuff is just kind of like a bonus for me because I get to be in Hogwarts finally, and I get to have my house chosen for me, and that's just really cool. But Mary, where's your hype level for Hogwarts?
I'm uh, I'm not like super hyped for it, I guess, just because like I feel like it's like it's really late, I guess, to me. Like,
Mm.
why couldn't we have had a game like this sooner? The movies have been done for so long, the books have been done for so long. I feel like, I guess maybe I've just moved on from like that fandom, and like they had like Lego Harry Potter, which like I played with my cousins, those did really well. There's other Harry Potter games that did well, but like this is the kind of game that like I always wanted like back then. And
hmm
now it's happening. And I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll
And
check it
now
out,
you're
maybe I won't, but I'm kind of like, I don't pay as much attention to Harry Potter as I used to.
just
Mm.
say it. You got older, you lost your sense of wonder,
I'm
and now you're paying a
old.
mortgage, and you don't believe in Hogwarts.
I never got my letter and I'm really bitter about it.
There you go.
Greg, hype level.
Probably a
9,000.
0 because I've never seen or read a single Harry Potter piece
Wow.
of literature or film. So
Dude, we need to go on a binge. You need to come over and we just watch them
Movie
all.
time.
just give me the cliff notes. Tell me about them.
Okay, I'll send them to you later.
But I did
Brett,
ask my fiance though and she's like super into Harry Potter and she said she'd play it.
Okay.
oh nice.
Yeah.
Brett, where's your hype level for Hogwarts?
So yeah, he's not the only person on the show that has not seen a movie or watched any of the books. I haven't, and I think part of that is like when these movies were big, I was like in my 20s, and so I feel like it was just like not my
This
like
dude's
it just
68. How
I
old
just
are you?
missed the window. Not all of them, not all of them. But I don't know, like
did it come out like 1999 or something?
You only recently started collecting Social Security. It's okay.
No, maybe some of the early ones were when I was like still in middle school, but I don't know. I just missed the boat on these. And however, I do have to say though, like this looks pretty freaking good. Like I'm actually really interested in this. So maybe we should do a watch party, me, you, and Greg, and like knock a Harry Potter movie out once a month until we get to this game.
That'd be awesome. I've been wanting to rewatch them all because it's been like years. But yeah, the first movie came out in 2001, so that means Brett was about
So I was-
65 around that time.
I was a junior in high school. So
What was
Wow.
the year?
Okay.
2001. Did I just say? Yeah.
Okay. I was 10.
so I was almost an
I was only
adult. So
nine.
like I don't know.
I
I
was in the 7th grade, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just a little 9-year-old with my Harry Potter book, and Brett was banging chicks and doing a bunch of drugs.
I was doing shots in the bathroom at the high school, and Brett's playing with Legos.
Slaying moms and slapping palms. The King Daddy Dillo.
King Daddy Dill.
Yeah. So John, you're not very hyped for this one?
No, actually, I'm a very unique case. I've never cared about Harry Potter in my life. Like, Snape kills Dumbledore is like most of my knowledge of the series. But I think this game looks really good. Like, I'm genuinely
fan.
interested in this game, and like I placed myself as like a solid maybe on whether or not I'll get it. Normally, a lot of games I'll just be like, yeah, that actually looks kind of cool, but I know I'll never bother with it. So like the fact that I've upgraded this to like maybe is like actually a big deal. Like
It's a big
it
step.
looks like Avalanche is like doing all the right things with this game. Like it looks like a sound Harry Potter video game.
Yeah.
Not that I care about the Harry Potter part, but like the Magic School part, it looks like it's like been like really artfully put together, and that looks fun to me. So yeah, I place it as a maybe. Whereas Harry Potter itself, I just don't care at all. Like so like I technically in the most literal sense, I watched the first two movies with like an ex-girlfriend like a decade ago, but she had the volume too low on the TV in her living room and her parents were in the other room and I didn't want to inconvenience them, so I just didn't hear the movies. I
Well,
saw
that's why
them.
you don't like.
I didn't
That's
hear
why you
them.
don't like the movies. Your memories of the movie were with an ex-girlfriend, and you couldn't hear it. No wonder you don't like the movies.
The thing is, I didn't really care what they were doing anyway, so you know, chicken or the
Yeah.
egg situation. But yeah, so I'm enthusiastic about the game at least.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It looks
I
really
think it
good.
looks really solid. And and remember that this is from the studio that made Pixar's Cars 2, a great racer. But yeah,
Thank you.
this has been. I mean, they also did a bunch of crappy games that I don't really like the Just Cause games. I never could get into those. I probably just offended a lot of Just Cause fans.
Just
Um,
Cause 2
Right.
was good, but after that, they kind of
But yeah, this has been Spot Dodge, and I'm gonna toss it to everyone so people can know where to find you. First, I'll toss it to Mary. Where can people go to find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch, Mary Wants Cookie, and you can also find me on the Destructoid show over on Snapchat and TikTok.
Awesome. Now, Greg, what about you?
Ooh. You can find me over on PC Invasion, where I occasionally write. As well, you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter at dynamite_giraffe. Did I miss one? YouTube? Did I say YouTube? Yeah,
I
whatever.
think so.
Yeah, all my socials are just about the same at dynamite_giraffe.
Brett, where can people go to find you?
You can find me here on this channel every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central
Time.
And Twitter, B_Lars24.
Awesome. John, hope you thought of a good one. Where can people go to find you?
You can catch me outside. How about that?
Oh, a classic. I think that has officially entered retro territory, that little catchphrase.
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
John, do you write down like
yeah.
little outros that you're going to say before? You're
No.
like, okay, this is a good one. I'm going to use this next week.
Oh, John's good enough to go off the top of his.
Just off the top of the dome. All right.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
But yep. So you can catch me writing at The Escapist. I've got a few different previews/reviews in the works over the next week. So if you like hearing me talk about games and stuff, like hop over onto The Escapist. And I'm also
Bookmark
working on my
John's
indie game,
author page.
Boss Saga. Yeah, you can look at my face. What's better than that? And I'm working on my game Boss Saga at boss-saga.com.
Awesome.
There's no
Hey,
screenshots.
there's
of
my
the game.
logo.
Hey.
The screenshots are kind of hard to find, right, Brett?
They're very hard to find. Very hard. I'll never let that one down. Ever.
No.
No.
But yeah, if you want to find more of my work, I'm making the Destructoid show over on Snapchat. Go subscribe to us over there. We're also uploading bits and pieces of that show on TikTok. We're actually getting a little bit of a following over there, so that's really exciting. And aside from that, you can find me here on this podcast every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Time. Thanks a lot for hanging out. And also, one last thing, if you made it this far, probably not many of you have, but if you have a question or any comment for next week, make a comment down in the comment section below of the video. And that's it. We'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.